Yeah, I should win just because you had the Timberwolves in the 8th seed.
Vasilevsky's been playing really well, and the Lightning have great offense.
Yeah, it was a tremendous shot, and I've come to expect it from LeBron. I would say I wish the best for the Red Sox, but as a Yankees fan, that's really hard for me to do.
The biggest addition to me is Jalen Brunson.
Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers, and that's all I have to say. He's still a top 5 quarterback in this league, and there's nothing really anyone can do about it.
Why'd you have to name him? Like, seriously. Thanks, man.
Who would have thought 5 years ago that the Clippers and Nets would be facing in the finals?
How is Joe Burrow going to get the ball to them if his butt is already on the ground?
Crazy. And for the fans at home,
Hello, I'm Cy Mendenhall, and you're listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our MLB Opinions of the Week. The final lists are coming out for our top 10 in the MLB for the 2026 season, Austin. Now we're moving to a pivotal spot in the batting order because that is their position when you are a designated hitter, Austin.
Yeah, your entire job, hit the baseball or get on base. Some people prefer to get on base than hit the baseball, but that's okay. Get on base, make something happen in the base path, and that is basically their entire job. There's a lot of very good ones, and this list was one of the harder ones to make for me, especially because it's hard to weigh home runs versus hits, because a designated hitter hitting home runs is so much more valuable, in my opinion, than batting average. And it's really the only position I feel that way about.
Yeah, it is a fun debate. A lot of these guys do hit home runs, but I do have one guy that does well for getting on base. So I am curious to see who you have. Do you have any honorable mentions?
No. Do you?
I do not either. So I'll go into my top 10 or my 10. And that is Ivan Herrera with the St. Louis Cardinals. He really he is a catcher, but I don't think defensively he is that great. But he showed a great year at the plate, and he had a 2.2 WAR. He had a batting average of 284 in his age 25 season, and a little bit down from his previous year with 301, but almost double the plate appearances. So I can understand that. And then his best OPS plus in his career with 136.
Cool. We start out this one by agreeing. We both have Ivan Herrera at 10. He's a good player, and I do think as the Cardinals look to rebuild, he'll be someone that the fans should start to enjoy having around. He's still pretty young. This will be his age 26 season. And while he's not necessarily the greatest home run hitter, he does have a solid batting average. And a 136 OPS plus is pretty good for any player, especially at the age.
Yeah. Who is your 9?
My 9 is Giancarlo Stanton. Look,
Okay.
Stanton hit 24 home runs in 77 games. That is insane. And I expect him to play. Look, I'm an honest person. He's played over 100 games. Most of the seasons let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 8 seasons he's been there. So most. He's played 100 games. But he's also had games with 18, 23, 77. I expect him to play in the 110 to 120 range of games. And with that, as long as he's healthy for the postseason, he will be a top 10 DH. He's an amazing player hitting-wise. What keeps him this low is his speed. He's never going to hit a triple. His doubles are basically home runs that were hit to with not a high launch angle. Not any gaps, really. Really, some are, but not many. And I think that the way he's changed his swing will benefit him. The use of the new bats also has benefited him. I think he'll be a very good DH this year. It's just he's never going to play 162 games. I think the maximum games for him this season is 125. I don't think anyone should expect him to play more than 125 games this season. I expect bare minimum 100. But I think it'll probably fall in the 110 to 120. Maybe I'll say 110 to 115 range is what this prediction is based off. And with that, I do think he's a top 10 and at this rate, 9th best designated hitter in baseball.
So I'm a little bit higher, but yeah, I think he is a top 10 DH. His injuries are a problem, but he's consistently done it. So that's why I'm a little bit higher. My 9 is Eugenio Suarez. He just burst onto he's done well, but he burst onto the scene with his home runs and how he was leading the league in home runs. First largest amount of home runs he's hit since 2019 when he was with the Reds. He is back with the Reds now, and I think he's going to fill that DH spot. So that's why he's on the DH list compared to third baseman, because they have Brian Hayes. We've had that talk about it. And I think just his ability to hit home runs, while he had a batting average of 228, his home runs were fantastic. And I deserved to put him on the designated hitter list.
Yeah, I have him a little bit higher than you. My next DH is a guy that, let's be honest, is one of the best players in MLB history, but injuries have really derailed that. But I still have to have him on the list, and that's Mike Trout. Mike Trout still hit 26 home runs last year in 130 games. I think this year will be significantly improved over the past couple seasons, and that's why I have him where I have him.
Yeah, that's someone. Mike Trout is still fantastic, historically great. He did not make my list, but it was something to where I forget he's DH, and it is difficult with all the injuries he's dealt with, but he's still fantastic when he's on the field.
Yeah, he truly is.
So that's your 8. My 8 is Christian Yelich. This is a guy who has also dealt with injuries. Only played 73 games 2 years ago, but last season he had 150 games. Batting average 264 while hitting 29 home runs and 103 RBIs. He's a solid designated hitter and has experience with that. That's why he lands in the top 10, but he doesn't go higher just given kind of injuries and just also the production as well with some moments.
Yeah. He's also, was that your 7?
That was my 8.
Oh, that was your 8. Okay, then he's my 7. So
Okay.
we're very comparable on him, and that makes sense because of the same reasons you said.
Yeah, my 7 is Giancarlo Stanton. You discussed a lot of the reasons. I just believe he provides more potential when he's on the field compared to Yelich, Suarez, and Herrera.
Yeah, I get that. I have Suarez at 6. I think that the Reds Stadium being one of the most hitter-friendly in the league will help him be even better. The last time he played for Cincinnati, he hit 31 home runs, and he does have a year where he hit 49 with Cincinnati. He's coming off a season where he just hit 49 home runs. Most of those were with 36 of them were with Arizona. 13 of them were with Seattle. But I think that he'll be pretty good. I don't expect anywhere near 49, but I think 35 to 40 is a fair estimate.
Yeah, I think that's fair. My 6 is a guy that doesn't hit too many home runs, and that's Yandy Diaz with the Tampa Bay Rays. He had 25 home runs last year, but he had a batting average of 300. Year prior to that, he had 281, and then in 2023, he had a 330. He's been close to 300 the past 4 seasons. With the year before his 330 batting average, he was at 296. So he's always going to get on base and provide value through that versus the home runs.
Yeah, I have him pretty high on this list. I'll go into my 5 though. My 5 is Brent Rooker. Rooker is a guy that is the old head in the locker room. This is going to be his age 31 season. He turns 32 in November. Something to make a World Series, I guess. But he's still older than a lot of the guys they have on the roster. They're a team that's full of youth and a youth movement. And a team that I think will surprise a lot of people this year. Make the playoffs, I don't know, but surprise some people, I agree with. But this past year, he hit 30. Then the year before that, he hit 39. The 39 year was crazy. I mean, that year he was 10th in MVP voting. He had a Silver Slugger. He had 112 RBIs, and he hit 293. I don't expect that. But last year, I think is very, very replicable. He had 262, 30 home runs, 89 RBIs. I think 30 to 35 homers, 80 to 95 RBIs is something that you can expect.
Yeah, I'm in complete agreement with you because Brent Rooker is my 5 as well. So for all the reasons you said, he's the old head in the locker room, but he provides a lot of value with the Athletics at the DH position.
Cool. Who's your next guy?
My next guy, this is where I have George Springer, where you and I debated about him in right field, DH. I think with his age, he's spending more time at the designated hitter spot. But either way, he is a top 10 player at either position, and I think he really provided value from a leadership standpoint, as well as being at the plate last year for Toronto. 4.8 WAR, his most since the 2022 season, as he dealt with injuries, just didn't produce as well as he did, with last year having a 309 batting average while providing 32 home runs.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't have him on my list, so because of the disagreement. I think he could play DH this year. We'll have to see. Again, I thought the change was more because of the injuries that he had and was making sure that they kept him healthy. We'll see how this year goes. You could be right at him being a DH. My number 4 is Yordan Alvarez. I do have him a little bit lower than most people probably, but that's because of his injury history, and he's so good that it won't matter in a lot of places. But here, I mean, the guys above him, I think I'm a lot more confident in playing. He played 48 games last year. 2 years ago, he played 114, and in 2020, he only played 2 of the 60 possible games. In his rookie year, he played 87. I think he's an amazing talent. He's one of the best pure hitters in the sport. And when he's 100%, it's really, really hard to stop him. But I think that games matter. And I think that, I had Stanton lower than you. I have Yordan lower than you. I think injuries kind of worry me with a couple of those guys.
Yeah, Jordan's pretty high for me, just given, yes, the injuries are a factor, and I understand having him lower. It's just when he's at the plate, he's fantastic, and you're worried about pitching to him in that designated hitter spot. So I can understand that, but it is an issue. My 3, honestly, I'd be happy with any of the 3 guys. Springer as well is fantastic. Kyle Schwarber is my 3. He was great last year, played in all the games, 4.7 WAR, as well as providing 56 home runs, 132 RBIs. While he does have a batting average of 240, he provides a great value in the leadoff spot and was second in MVP voting last year.
Yeah. My number 3 is Yandy Diaz. I think you had him at 4?
I had him at 6. Yeah, 6.
Oh, 6. I have him a lot higher because I believe that the importance of playing a lot of games matters, but also, again, this is where I was talking about like struggling to weigh the batting average. He does hit a fair amount of home runs. 25 is not nothing. And he's been 6th in MVP voting back in 2023 when he hit 330. I expect him to hit around 300 again this year. He's a very consistent OPS plus, and every year since 2021, or I guess since 2020, since the lockout shortened season, he's played 134 games or more. So I'm very confident that he'll play 130 plus games which is something that's very valuable to a team that's desperately going to need him. I'll go into my 2, which was your 3, Kyle Schwarber. Schwarber has been remarkable hitting the ball. He's not the best when it comes to average, which is funny having him right next to a guy who hits for average. But Schwarber last year, he hit for 240. Another reason why I just have to have him above Jordan, he's played 150 or more games the last 4 seasons. 150 or more. He plays every game. I mean, last year, he literally speaking played every single game. That is something that you can't quantify with some of the injuries. Like, it's very hard to. I mean, he's barely missed any games with injuries. He's really only had 2 years shortened by injuries. 2016 and 2021, he missed some games with injuries. I mean, he played 59 of the possible 60 in 2020. He played 155 of the 162 in 2019. Since 2019, he's played less than. Let's do the math. What is 150 divided by 162? That is 92. We'll call it 93%. Or 92.5%. He's not played less than 92.5% of the games, except for 2021. That's the only season since 2018 that he's played less than 92.5%.
Yeah, it's a tough argument, and I can understand having him above Jordan. I chose Jordan over him, as Jordan is my 2, just given how he hits well average-wise when healthy, but also he can, in the playoff moments, Schwarber has it too, but Jordan to me is one of the guys where it's almost better just walking him versus pitching to him in those big moments, because he can get a hit while also putting it out of the park and getting a home run. So that's why I put him at 2.
Yeah, I'm just too worried about injuries with Jordan. I mean, he's an amazing hitter. I mean, their playoff stats are actually pretty comparable. If you just, not by batting average, but if you go by on base plus slugging, OPS, Jordan's is 944, and Kyle Schwarber is, I believe, 907. Let me go back. Yeah, 907. So they're very comparable OPSs. They both hit a ton of home runs and make big plays in the postseason. Both of them are postseason players.
Yeah. But it's tough to beat number 1 or get close to it because it's Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, and this is obviously not including his pitching. This is not including pitching. He, like we said, or I don't know if I said this. I know I said this, but I don't know if it was before recording or during recording, that we could have had Ohtani in the starting pitcher list as well. We just didn't think he was top 10. But, or maybe I had him as an honorable mention. I don't actually remember. I just go back to it. But this is surely as an DH, which shows you how good he is at the positions. Because, yeah, I did not.
Ohtani made mine as number 9.
Got it. He didn't make mine, though.
Yeah.
But, yeah. These are 2 separate positions without influence on each other. I think Ohtani's the second best hitter in the sport. And I don't think it's crazy to say that. I think the only player that is better at hitting a baseball is Aaron Judge.
Yeah, I think both are arguably the best. I think there is an argument to be made for both. So we'll have to see, but he's just fantastic. He can hit. He provides speed on the base pass. He just provides such a dangerous path on the plate, and that's why he's the best hitter or second best hitter in the sport.
Yeah, I'm always going to defend my guy, a guy who's statistically been better the past 3 seasons hitting the ball. But I will be mad if someone says they think Ohtani is a better hitter. I'll disagree, but it's not like there's incorrect opinions and there's different opinions. That's just a different opinion.
Yeah, it's a different one, and I think that's where you have to get really into the nitty-gritty of it, and that's where I'm kind of which one I would do. I don't know. I would choose. I would like to hear both arguments because I understand the argument.
You have as a hitter a personal preference.
I might go Judge. I feel like Judge, kind of with what he showed last year. I think, especially with how well he was hitting for average in addition to home runs was pretty impressive.
Yeah. I don't think it's bias coming out of me when I say that I think that Judge is the best hitter in the sport.
No, I don't see that. And like Ohtani hits well. I'm curious what his batting average was last year, but it's also just kind of what he did on the base, like as a runner. To me, provides incredible value.
Well, again, he only had, I think, 20 stolen bases last year. It was the year before where he had a
Yeah, it was the year before that when he had
almost 60. He had 59.
He had 55 home runs,
55, yeah.
hit 282.
Oh, no, he had 59.
Man, his
He had 59.
first
Yeah, that's right.
First year with LA was incredible. Hit 310, 54 home runs.
Yeah, with 59 stolen bases.
Yeah. Dang, man.
But
Yeah.
Judge's hit levels that no one in his tier have. I mean, 62 home runs a couple years ago. I mean, he gets walked a crazy amount. The last 2 years, if you just take those last 2 years batting average, he's hitting 326 while hitting 55 and a half home runs on average. He's also playing in in 4 of the last 5 seasons, he's played 148 or more games. I don't know what else you can ask from him.
Yeah.
But he's kind of lowered the injury concerns. Again, I don't think he's injury prone. If you run into something and it hurts you, that's not your fault. Again, the Dodgers thing. Like, it's non-contact injuries that I think are really a sign of being injury prone.
Yeah. I think, man, they're just two great hitters. So let us know your thoughts in the comments. We appreciate you listening to Outsiders Opinions.